Hi there, welcome to my shop. What we have here is a 1985 International S1900. It's actually technically called a 1954. Has a DT466 and an Allison, I believe 5-speed automatic transmission. So what's it doing in here is that it's getting the frame stretched because I am putting a service body on this truck, but this truck is too short. These trucks came with CA measurements, or back of the cab to the center line of the axle, in 60-inch, 72-inch, 84, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so mine is 72. That's about the center line of the axle, 6 feet. So the body I'm putting on is 84, 8 feet between the center line of the wheel arch and the front of the box. So I need to stretch this out at least 12 inches, but I decided to go a little bit further because if I stretch this out only 12 inches, then the front of the service body is going to be right behind the cab. And then I'll have to do, and it hangs down about a foot. So I'd have to do something with these cables, brackets. I'd have to do something with the exhaust over there. So I just decided that instead of stretching out just 12 inches to 84, I'm going to stretch out 18 inches to 90. Okay, to 7'6". So it's going to be 7'6". Where am I at? 7'6" is going to be the center line, is going to be the measurement between the back of the cab and the center line of the axle. The axle is going to move from about this little mark right here to about this little mark right here. It's going back 18 inches. I already have my donor frame rails here. Just picked them up today. The weird thing is, we got to do a little bit of work first. See, normally, what people do is just cut the frame, and do a Z cut or straight cut, whatever, and then splice in a section, and then put a doubler over the outside or a doubler on the inside. Then you have two welds, and you have a doubler, and the doubler is either welded or bolted, depends on who you talk to. But anyway, that's normally what they do, and the reason they do that is because you can just cut the frame here and over there and move this whole mess back, keeping all the the spring brackets intact, keeping the axle, everything intact. Just simply cut it and roll this back and splice in your frame section. I still might do that. I'm not entirely certain. What I would really like to do is simply cut the frame, one cut, one weld, and just put an all new frame rail all the way to the back. And this end, at the end of the frame, is going to end right about at this drum. Anyhow, that would mean, one weld right about here, and then, a doubler on the inside, and then I'd have to re-drill all the holes for the spring brackets and the cross members. By the way, this thing was added on afterwards. This thing did some fifth wheel towing. This piece is going to be cut off, and we're going to keep the cross members. Those cross members are going to make their way over to the new frame. And we're going to get rid of this section, the piece that we cut out. The challenging part of this guy is that, I don't know if you can see, but there is, here, let me get rid of that tape. Nice. There already is a doubler right here. This piece was added on after. This is just welded. This is going to come off. This is the original frame. This is a doubler. This doubler is actually on the build sheet. It's a frame stiffener, I think. I forget what they call it. But anyway, so this doubler is factory. This wasn't added on before. This was done at the factory. And it is under the front spring bracket. As you can see, it goes under the front spring bracket, and it goes all the way forward till about here. So in order to get that doubler off, I have to take off the spring bracket, take out the cross member, the batteries and the fuel tank over on the other side, and a bunch of other nuts and bolts in there. And the rear cab support is gonna have to come out, or at least come loose. And then this doubler right here is just bolted on. So once all that is loose, and of course this thing is cut off, this is just gonna fall off. I'm starting to wonder if this piece was maybe put on by the factory. I don't really know if this piece was. I can't say for certain. It wasn't welded. Anyway, whatever. This piece is definitely coming off. And this piece, these pieces are coming off. There's one on the other side too. There you see a little bit better. Right there, that's a doubler. Oh, and the doubler only goes till here. This is the like the regular frame. This is the doubler. So the doubler is only L-shaped and is bolted on from about here to way under there. Anyway, so since I have to take off this bracket anyway, and that cross member and all that, that's when I decided to, instead of just simply cutting it, splicing in an 18-inch section, just kind of rolling all that mess back. Since I have to take that off anyway, I have to take the entire axle off. And if I got to do that, I may as well just, do one cut right here and make one piece of frame from here all the way to the end. Oh, and by the way, this doubler I'm going to keep. I'm going to put it back on. Because you can see the spring bracket is bolted to the doubler, and also, let me come back here. This spring bracket has a spacer in it to compensate, because that front one is away from the frame just about a 1/4 inch. So this one has to be away from the frame, 1/4 inch. Same deal on this side, same deal up there. So, since I have to take that off anyway, I just decided I'm gonna cut it and put these guys in, and then put a doubler on the inside and keep this doubler on the outside, bolt it back on for strength. Anyhow, that's what we have going on right now. I don't know how long this is gonna take me. We're about to face a really big snowstorm, but I have lots of time and I'm inside. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned.